So the second match of this team battle, Zane is going against what appears to be my deck. He's going up against Liberators, and the starter is Chronogle. And at grade 2, Zane searched for a grade 3. He also did take a second mulligan for this fight. Neither seemed to have given him a grade 3, I believe. And now Zane is just going in with the grade 2 rush. Drive check was a critical trigger, the Supersonic Sailor. So he forced out a guard and got a critical, so 3 damage to 1. Of course, Liberators can create a reversal from this situation. Soul Blasting to check the top 5 for a grade 3, a blue flame unit, and gets Prominence Core. This actually is probably a Prominence Core / Glare deck. If I was Zane, I would let that die. Because he's gonna attack it again. Gets a trigger for it though. So now he can't. Well, he can, but less guard. So no grade 3 for Zane. Doesn't G assist because he'd have to get rid of both the units in the last 2 units in his hand just to do it. And he's a lot better off not doing that than doing it. One to pass, doesn't get a trigger, but Zane does have one more attack. And it's guarded. And like I thought, this is a Glare / Core deck. Early stand trigger breeds nothing. Doesn't add to the number of battles or anything. This is why you always attack with the rear first when you run stands. Let Starless die because he has another one anyway. And now he realizes he can ride. He also has the ability to do the limit break because there is a limit remover on the field. Which means this attack misses, and 16 to the Vanguard, 2 critical if Solar lets it hit. If Solar chooses to guard, he's gonna lose Chronogle and give Zane a draw. And he's prepared to take that risk. Second check was Tidal Assault, first one was the Penguin. Chronogle dies and a card is drawn. And yes, that does work, even though the unit was locked. The conditions were met and the cost was paid, so the skill went through regardless. And without Chronogle on the field, Prominence Glare just lost a lot of its ability to be a threat. So much so that Solar isn't even doing superior calls. And with no glare skill, no superior calls, it means perfect guard. And it was a good critical card because the critical trigger appeared. The other unit was Tidal Assault. I'm actually surprised he used the Penguin to guard. He could have Soul Blasted with it to get another draw. And now I'm sort of seeing why he didn't do that. Oh, Tidal Assault. I was thinking of Wheel Assault. Yeah, that was the better unit to keep. I feel like Zane misplayed a bit just because if it was me, I would have kept the Hermes standing so a trigger could go to Hermes and Hermes could actually hit. But no triggers appear anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now, for those who are wondering, the reason why Solar isn't doing any superior calls is because you'd have to use one counter blast in order to and retire one in order to check the top 4 in superior call. After that, if you want to do Prominence Glare skill, you'd have to counter blast one more and send a grade 3 from the hand to the drop zone. He has no ability to do that without having 2 counter blast. So because Zane is attacking the way he is, it's actually locking out Prominence Glare skill. But there's another problem with this. And it's the fact that Solar really doesn't have to drop much guard. Missile Trooper, which is a critical, and then a Maelstrom. He still gets the draw even though a retire didn't happen. And now this is going to attack for 2 critical. Well, it could have, but he decided not to do it because he doesn't want to give the extra damage to Solar, which makes sense because Glare skill would happen were he to do that. Right now, Solar's afraid to just call anything to the rear guard just because if he does, then it's going to be retired anyway. So a 2 pass, a no pass. In my opinion, 2 pass probably would have been enough in that situation. But better safe than sorry. The last thing you want is that what if scenario of you 2 passing, they get it, and you wondering what would have happened if you had just added that extra unit to no pass. Of course, one thing people need to remember about that is you should only do it if you have enough to guard in case your opponent gets 2 triggers. Zane opts to ride Tetra Burst Dragon, the Legion. Decides he's better off using that right now. Which he is because he gets to return 4 triggers. He still has 4 battles. The conditions are the same. If anything, this helps him a little. What did he actually return? He did put back a Starless, so he's not going to Legion miss. 2 Supersonic Sailors and a Missile Trooper. Apparently there's issues. There's a specific chat in Skype right now that's so big and is getting so many messages and stuff being sent and whatnot that it crashes Skypes. And Zane is still continuing to not give damage outside of the Vanguard attack. 41 to pass. First check is Dorothea. And second check is Maelstrom. Nothing short of an unflipper is going to get Solar that Prominence Glare skill unless he is willing to take a Vanguard attack and risk that Zane won't critical trigger. Which at this point I honestly would have done that by now. Just from understanding what Zane is trying to do, I would have taken the Vanguard attack by now. And now Solar has to think very hard about what he's going to do. Because he understands Zane isn't going to give him that extra damage. Zane has lost all ability to retire rear guards. But there's proof in a drop zone that Solar's lost a lot of triggers. There's at least 7 triggers out of deck if every unit in Solar's, if no units in Solar's hand are triggers. And Zane no passes again. First check is critical. So at least half of Solar's triggers are just completely gone. And Zane activates Stride. I don't know if that was the best idea. I understand exactly why he did it, but I don't know if it was the best idea. And now Zane is just attacking, gonna try to end it. No guard. Supersonic Sailor. All the Vanguard. Spyros and Kitchen Sailor. Heal trigger. He was banking on getting 2 criticals and ending it right there, but it didn't happen. And now he's gonna have to deal with Prominence Glare's ability. And he calls a Bruno to rear guard, making it all the worse. So this is where it starts. 3k for every superior call from the deck. Soul Blast and draw for Yosef. And a Counter Blast and discard for Glare skill? Yes? No? Maybe? If not, I have questions. Nope, calls another Aglavale, checks the top. Gets another Bruno. So that's 3 more to the Bruno behind Vanguard. And now Legion skill active. So that's 33k to critical. Even the 2 grade 0s that were just checked won't be enough to guard by itself. 2 critical. Zane doesn't guard, and a critical doesn't appear, so this isn't the end of the match. Supersonic Sailor on damage, and a draw trigger as well. Which means the Yosef side can't hit the Vanguard at all, and the other side only needs a 5k block. Girls with a 10k shield, I'm not sure why. Must have a plan. $10k attack whiffs. $11 goes to rear guard. And now counterblast and attacking 35,000 again. 2 critical. 21, 31, 41 for 2 pass. Tetra burst and limit remover. And 11k goes to the rear guard, not giving any counterblast. Now at this point, Zane can't conceivably... He conceivably does have the ability to deck Solar out if he lasts that long. Looking at his deck count, it's actually in the single digits right now. I'm not sure how many people in this match realize that. And he rides the other Tetra Burst that he got from the Twin Drive check and is using it for a re-legion. Puts back Starless, heal trigger, another Starless, and a perfect guard. Don't know why he bothered putting back 2 Starless. First attack lifts. Zane takes a moment to contemplate the situation. Third to the Vanguard whiffs. And fourth is 2 critical. 2 to pass. And that's Missile Trooper. That's a critical trigger. If he doesn't have 10,000 shield, it could end right here. And he does not. Zane wins. On to the third game. Good job. You did exactly what you needed to do in that situation.